Sharing with you in this video how to shift your reality and create your goals faster as a result. I really believe that it is our natural state to shift and transform moment to moment into who we want to be. But the problem is that we recreate ourselves into versions of ourselves that we don't even want to be moment to moment. And not only do we do this, we do it for extremely long periods of time, where you look at a person where you would assume that they would have developed so much in that span of time. You might look at that person 1 year, 2 years, 3 years later, and they're the same person. And the way that we can avoid this problem of recreating ourselves into the same person that we don't want to be is by understanding that shifting your reality is really your natural state. And so the first thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to actually do this is to understand that a shift can only happen in a state of openness. So when you're fully open, when you have an openness to even see a possibility to change, is when you can experience a shift. What is even a shift? Really, everything in life is just a state of consciousness. So if you want to shift from one state of consciousness into the state of consciousness where you have what you want, understand that you have to shift into something different than the way that you've been for however long, because the results that you're getting are results of the way that you've been. And if you want to be different, you have to be a different way, then get a different result. And it sounds common sense. It's like, okay, of course, that's common sense. That sounds normal. That sounds understandable. But what we can often neglect is the basic things that we need to shift our reality, because a shift oftentimes isn't an big epiphany or extravagant moment. It might feel like that, but really the essence of a shift is that every moment is excellent. Every moment is amazing, but it's also just as normal. It's just normal, and it's normal to have what you want, and it's normal to shift into the desire that you want. And I'm not saying that as a mindset. I'm saying that to point you to the isness of this present moment. It's almost like everything that you want in your life just is. And to shift into that reality where you have what you want already, there has to be a certain level of openness where you're not just focused on the results and the output that you're getting, but who you are being to get there. So that second part of this process that I really want to make very, very clear is to understand that, once again, what got you to where you are right now is not going to help you to get to where you want to be. So what we have to do is to change our behaviors. This is what we really need to begin to start to do. If we want to become better, if we want to improve, if we want to change our life, if we want to become the person that we've always wanted to be, what you're going to have to start to do is not just focus again on the external results that you're getting, but the behaviors that you're doing, the way that you are acting. Oftentimes, you don't really need to believe in whatever it is that you want to do. You just have to be willing to take the action. You just have to be willing to do whatever it is that you want to do. And then if you're just willing to do it and then you do the correct behaviors, oftentimes that is what you really need to experience a powerful shift. You might think like, oh, I need to have stronger belief. I need to have stronger conviction. Oftentimes it might not even be the case. All you have to do is just change your behaviors. Oftentimes, however you need to get there, whether it's an internal mindset shift, whether it's having a mentor, whether it's having a friend, whether it's reaching out to family, whatever you need to do to get those behaviors to change, that's what you want to focus on, because that's what's going to shift your reality, is the behavior level changes. Not believing and changing just your thoughts and then changing your belief. It's not just, you don't need more belief, you need to be different. You might not believe like you want something. You might feel unworthy, but if you just take the right actions, you can get what you want. Now, of course, we do want to look at a little bit more nuanced level. Again, as usual, the place that we are coming from. But just to be totally upfront, if you're just interested in getting what you want, oftentimes you just have to behave in a particular way. And you have to be able to do it consistently again and again and again, regardless of how you feel. That's what true discipline is. It's consistent, dedicated action over a long period of time, regardless of feeling. And it's just following through with those behaviors that need to happen to help you get what you want. So if you can identify what those behaviors are, if you can make those behaviors very clear, whatever it is that you need to do to get whatever it is that you want in your life, and you can actually change those behaviors, that's what's going to put you in a position where you have a higher probability of shifting into that person that you want to be and making those changes that you actually want in your life. And so the final thing that I want to share with you in this video is really to understand that it might sound possibly different than what many people have told you, but this is going to be the most cutthroat, simple explanation of what I think needs to happen to help you shift your reality, and then to help you get what you want as a result naturally, and then to create your goals faster. But really, I believe the key here is to take action first, and then your beliefs can actually shift. A lot of people think that they need more belief, and they need to think they need to have more intention, or reprogram their mind, their subconscious mind, and then they can take action, and then finally things will change. It's like oftentimes you'd be surprised, you don't even need to have more belief. You just need to be willing to take more action. Once again, like I said earlier, if you just have a willingness to take action and a willingness to do what you have to do, even if you don't believe it, you might look at somebody else that has the result and you trust them. You might not even trust yourself. You don't feel worthy yet. You don't feel trustworthy of yourself. You don't feel like you're going to do it. You don't feel like it's going to happen. But if you just are willing to take the action because you see a higher possibility, maybe there's something in you that feels good about it, or you just feel like it's the right decision to do, even though you don't believe it, doing that in of itself can help you to get the result a lot of the times. A lot of times it's not even about how you feel or what your belief is. Your level of belief doesn't matter, because again, once you get the results that you're looking for in your life, then your beliefs will shift. Like if you continually show up for yourself, if you continually take action, if you continually do this on a consistent basis, and then you start to get results in your life, see the external world shift, of course, you are going to be more confident as a result, because you are worthy of more confidence. You've put yourself in a position where you have self-trust and you have self-worth, and you generated that through consistent action and consistency. It's almost like you can say genuinely that you earned that. You have enough action taking in your life to have a healthy sense of pride. That's not bad at all. That doesn't make you an egotistical maniac. In fact, that gives you a healthy sense of ego to say that, you know what, I don't believe any more than I've achieved in my life. I'm only going to believe whatever I achieve. So it's like if you achieve something, then you have the belief. And of course, that goes against what people say. It's like, aren't you supposed to believe it before you see it? For sure. But the truth is that you're not going to believe it 100%. You might have doubt, you might have fear, you might have concern. But if you take action anyway, and you don't base your level of belief or feeling on whether you should take action, that's a powerful position to be in, because now you become a person of willingness versus feeling or preparation. The person that's going to be willing to take action instead of the person that is waiting to feel the best or to have the belief prepared, the person that has a higher level of willingness will always win. They'll always win in the end. They're always going to have more skill sets. They're always going to have more security, because they're going to have more. If you have more skill sets because of your willingness to take action, that's, in my opinion, the truest form of security that a person could ever have. You know, your money situation might change, your jobs might change, many things in the external world might change, but one thing that you will never ever lose is your skill sets and the skill sets that you've developed. And even if the skill sets change in of themselves, the character traits that you build by being a person that has self-trust, the character traits that you build by being a person of consistency and discipline and excellence and working towards what you want every single day, this is the belief that what starts to build the belief. You know, is the consistency, is the action taking, is the willingness to take action. Yeah, of course you have willingness at first, but then if you have a willingness and then you become the person that is always willing to take action, even when you don't feel like it, now your self-trust increases even more. That's a powerful self-image to have, is become the person that is willing to take action even when they don't feel like it. Make that your belief. If you can make that your subconscious belief, that's a very powerful place to be. That's a very empowered place to be. That's a place where you're going to be able to shift your reality, and then in just a short amount of time, possibly much faster than other people, you will excel and level up, because what's happening is that person is going to be stuck in a mindset of limitation and recreating themselves to be the same person every single day, and they don't know why it's happening, and they're a victim and they're complaining. Whereas in the meantime, in that same short period of time, you could have more experience and more wisdom. This is why people say that age doesn't necessarily have more wisdom. Now, some people, it might, of course, I believe it is important to respect your elders and respect people that are older than you, but also you can sense truly that if a person has not matured even though they're older than you. You can just sense it. You know what I mean? Some people they have more I do believe at least that some people have genuinely more life experience and they can experience more maturity. They have genuinely in that shortened period of time have more learning and more maturity, and they gained more experience than another person, because one person might be experiencing the same challenges everywhere that they go, even though they've lived longer life and they've maybe been to more places, and you would think, okay, this person has more experience, but internally they don't have more experience because they're being the same person. Whereas one person might learn 5 to 6, 7, 10 lessons because they're processing information faster. And the way that you do this is by having a willingness to take action. It's really the priority to see that it's not just about the plan that you have in your life, it's the place that you're coming from, it's who you're being. You know, you might have a terrible plan, but if you're a committed person, you probably will succeed more than the person that has a very good plan but zero level of willingness to